Hey there. Hey, Facebook. I am Natalie Guerin, and welcome to today's show. Today, I wanted to talk about what happens when you're stuck in a rut and how to shift your perspective so that you can get momentum, you can get out of that rut, and you can get back to living on purpose. You can get back to creating an impact in the world wherever you came here to do, whether you're a coach or whether you're a healer. And before I get into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I am doing this video. And I'm a little bit nervous because most of the time I go live and I know exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. And the message, comes through differently. But this time I'm actually doing a challenge because I'm doing the Unstoppable Influencer Challenge. And she challenges us to do 100 days of videos to help us find our voice, to help us find our message. And I have a pretty good clarity on my message in my business as a spiritual empowerment coach, but I always really hold myself back a little bit from sharing. I want to be prepared. I want everything to be perfect. And what happens is I don't show up and I let the fear get in the way and I let myself get in the rut. And so today, when I focused on what do I want to talk about today, the thing that came up is really this idea of being in a rut. And the reason I wanted to start with that today is because yesterday I see clients all the time, right? And there's clients that are healing. There's people that are going through the process. They're letting go of emotional baggage. They're coming back into who they are. They're finding their purpose, and yet they get stuck, right? And they get stuck in the fear, they get stuck in inaction, they get stuck in perfectionism. And I always tell people, it's not like a single note that you're going to get across the board, right? It's not like you're going to be happy all the time, right? But it's going to be a roller coaster. And, the roller coaster is normal. And the question you have to ask yourself is, how do you deal with the emotional roller coaster? How do you get past it? How do you get to the other side and survive that roller coaster ride, right? Because you're in it. And most of the time, what people try and do is they get really stuck in the fear. And it's kind of like you're on that roller coaster and you're going up, right? And all of a sudden it just stops and you know what's coming, but you're stuck right there and you can't get past that. And it's because of your thoughts. It's because of what you're focusing on. And it really is the power of focus. And here's the thing, right? There's your mind, right? There's your thoughts, there's your beliefs, there's your feelings, there's everything that's going on, right? And when you're focused in something that's not working, and let's say that you're wanting to live on purpose, you have a job that you hate, or there's just enough money, whatever it is, and it just doesn't feel good, and you're stuck in it, it's really hard to get out of it. It's actually impossible. From the laws of the universe, you need to change your vibration. Now, the question is, how do you do that? And because when you're stuck in it and you don't have the money, you don't have the job, you don't have, you're not living on purpose, you're miserable, you're depressed, whatever it is, you get stuck in this place of, this is never going to change. You guys know what I mean, right? Let me know in the comments. And so the challenge here is to shift our perspective into a higher vibration. Now, I'm not talking about being Pollyanna. I'm not talking about being in a perspective of, okay, I'm just going to ignore everything that's going to happen. But it's really about taking ownership of the roller coaster. It's really about taking ownership of where you are, making peace with it. And one of the easiest ways to do that, one of the best tools you can use to do that, is to shift it into a God perspective. Now, what the hell does that mean? And we're going to do it around money because that's just what I'm feeling inspired to do. And before I go into the exercise here, what I want to talk about is, what do I mean by God perspective, right? There's the version of you that is, stuck in a rut, stuck on everything that's not working. And then there's a version of you that is connected to source, connected to the energy of creation. And God, right, is all of that, is runs through all things. And whenever I ask clients what's really good about something being stuck in a rut, they'll go nothing, right? Or what's really good about being depressed, they'll go nothing, right? And it's usually like a really instant answer. But here's the trick, right? I don't know if everything happens to us has to happen, but once it's happened, it's happening for us for a reason. And we get to learn from it and we get to grow from it. And if I was to ask God the same question, right? And when I say God, I mean universe, spirit, energy, creation, whatever it is that you're comfortable with. I use them interchangeably. When you use God and you say, okay, God, how do you see the situation? It's going to be a totally different perspective. So yesterday I had people, I asked people what their situation was like, right? Like they're feeling just really disconnected. And I asked them to imagine if they had a coat to represent it, what would it look like? Right. And one of them said, well, my coat would be really patchy, would be really dark, it would be really heavy and be really uncomfortable. Right. And that's like when you're stuck in a rut and you're going through your emotions and you can't really see a way out. And then I asked them to go above their head and go and connect to the energy of creation. And I wanted really to and I can work with them and really show them how to get to that perspective. And then I'm like, okay, and if God had the same coat for the same experience, what would the God coat look like? And the coat would be like nice and white, it would be blue, it'd be light, and it feels really good. Now, most people will go, okay, well, that's great. That's God perspective. I want to take it one step further. And I'm like, what is that telling you about how God sees your problem and your challenge? God sees your problem as, it doesn't see it as a problem. It sees it as a way for you to learn and grow, and it's peaceful. And it doesn't judge the experience that you're having. What makes it hard is the judgment that you have around the emotions, around the experience. And it's the God perspective is really about shifting that into a perspective of, it's okay, this is where I am, I'm learning from it, don't freak out about it, and you move yourself forward. So I want you to take one experience in your life, and I really want you to identify something that's hard, and I want you to allow yourself the perspective of, if I could see this through God's eyes, what would I be seeing? What would God want me to learn? And what would God tell me about moving past this experience? And moving past it doesn't mean I'm going to cut it out. It just means that you're going to make peace with it, you're going to have a different perspective, and you're going to let it go. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about a different video. Maybe I'll do it today because I kind of feel like doing it. It's how do you get in line with the God perspective? How do you allow yourself to let go of what moves yourself forward? So one of the things that I do that a lot, and I do that with money, I do that with absolutely everything. And what happens is it's a lot easier to get back into true alignment. If you can live from the vibration and perspective of God energy, of universe energy, and you can live in the belief that it's possible, then your shift will come more quickly. Make sense? All right. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, feedback. I'm here for you. I'll see you soon. Lots of love.